So we're going to talk about parametric functions. All right, and the first thing Seamus said is, what are they? Has anyone in here heard of parametric functions before?
No.
No. Okay, parametric functions, they are a way to model, or a different way to model a function. Most often, when we model a function or we make a graph of it, we have the variables,
X and Y.
that's right, x and y. When we have parametric functions, we have a new variable, and it's t. T is typically, but not always, having to do with time. Okay? All of your calculators that you have, and everyone should have one, you need, whenever you're modeling these or graphing parametric functions, you need to be in what's called parametric mode. Okay? So let's go right now to our calculator. Mine's going to look a little different than yours, but the mode button is all in the same spot. Okay? All right, so you just go, you click on the mode, and it is right, if you go down a little bit, yours might just say PAR instead of the entire word parametric. And it's right there, and I need for you to click enter. Now what you're going to notice if you go to the graphing screen. Okay, number one, the statistics class was using these calculators, so please make sure that none of your plots are on for this. Okay? If they are dark, go up to them and click enter so they clear off. Now, one of the things that I want you to notice is that these graphs, you've got an X and a Y graph, and there's a little T next to them. That means that the variable you're going to use is T. Look at this button right here next to the alpha. Do you see how there's an X, and then there's a comma, and there's a T, and then there's like a sigma and an N? Each of those change depending on the mode you're in. When you're in function mode and you push this button, you'll get an X. When you're in parametric mode and you push the button, you're going to get a T. This theta symbol is for when you're in polar mode. Okay, there's polar graphing. And then the last one is when you're in, I believe, sequence or series, you're going to use the N. Now, we're just going to do, okay, what I'm going to have you do right now is we will enter, I'm just going to give you an equation, okay? And then we're going to put it into our calculator and see what it looks like, all right? Here's an example. Okay, let me move this over just a little. There we go. Your example is going to be x equals t plus 1 and x equals t squared plus 2t. Okay, you're always going to have two equations. Okay, now on your calculator, go ahead and put those in. You're going to have t plus 1.
T squared plus 2t.
There you go. Okay. Just in case somebody, again, has used these calculators beyond you, then just say zoom if you don't have your own, and do the standard window, zoom 6. Okay. Now, oops, you can't see my graph. Darn it. That's right, because I have this calculator, and it's hard to see graphs. Hang on. Can I see it now?
How do you set the window, Mrs. Tracy?
All right, yeah, let's check out that window. Okay. Can you see my graph a little bit there? Mine starts right here and goes on up. Okay. Yep. Well, I have to change my window. Hang on.
T squared plus what?
Yep.
2t.
2t. There we go. Okay, t squared plus 2t, right. Okay, now let's go to the window. The window's a little different. I want you to notice some things about the window.
Mine's not like that.
Okay, right. A lot of people's might be different. Mine is in a different mode because of the functions I had on there. My T min is 0. So, for instance, if I wanted to start at time is 0, this is what it'd be. This is what it would be. My T max right now is 6.28. Maybe change that to 10. Okay, the T step. That tells me how much I want to go up by. Okay? For example, if I put the T step at 1, I want you to see what my graph looks like. Oh, you still can't tell. Okay. It's the same. Put my T step, I guess it wouldn't matter, 20?
You
Same.
just change the max on the step.
Oh. I'm going to go my T step to 5. And now it's a straight line. Okay?
That's illegal.
Let's try a T step of 2. It goes a straight line and then it jumps up. Do you see that? I don't even know if you can see that on mine very much. If my X max was a little bit higher,
Put your T stop at 1, just to see what it does.
it'll be just a straight line.
Put it at 1.
Okay, it's jagged, okay, and it's not a smooth curve. This is how it works, okay? When you graph something, it graphs it like this. When t is 0, what is x? When t is 0, guys, what is x? 1. When t is 0, what is y?
0.
Okay, good. When t is 1, what is x? 2. And what is y?
Where do you don't even have a
Zero
line.
still.
Oh, I forgot. This is y. My mistake. Sorry. That's y. That's my y function. What is y? What is 1 squared plus 2 times 1?
3.
Okay, so that's 3.
No, it's not.
It's 1 right there. See? Because t is 1. So that's 1 plus 2.
So it's 1.
Okay, so what happens when t is 2 now? What is x? X is 3.
3.
And what is y? 9 plus 6.
5.
What is it?
5.
2, that's 4.
10.
No, it's 8. Right? 2 squared is 4, plus 2 times 2 is...
Yeah.
4.
Okay, so what is it? All right, do you guys understanding where these numbers are coming from?
Yeah, you plug it in.
Okay, all right. Now, these are the coordinate points on my graph right here.
How do
Okay.
you graph a coordinate point 238?
You don't, the T just tells you how often you're going to plot a point. See, that's the thing with parametric equation. The T tells you how often the points are going to get plotted. So on this graph right here, they plotted 1, 0, 2, 3, and 3, 8 that are on here. Okay? That's why, and then they connected these points. That's why it looks jagged. Does that make sense?
A little bit.
Okay, it's jagged because of the T step. Now, when you go to your window, if you change the T step to 0.1, which is what you should always put it on. If you change the T step to 0.1 and then you graph it, it's much smoother. Why? Because you have a lot more points to connect. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Now, what happens when I go to my table? Okay, in my table, my T only goes up by 1s. So you can't really tell what's going on. Okay? Okay? Now, Do you see this equation right here? Those two equations? What if I wanted to find an xy? I wanted to
Zero
find
into
it.
the opposite one.
An f of x. I wanted to get rid of the t. How do you get rid of the t when you have two equations?
You just do it.
How?
Put them equal to each other or something.
How can you put them equal to each other? What could I do?
Make them both equal t.
I could maybe make this one equal t. Could I do that?
And then put it in for the other one.
And put it in for the other t. There you go. All right. So what does x equal? X equals, or I'm sorry, t equals,
X minus one.
okay, does everybody see that? Okay. Then what I want you to do is substitute it into the other equation. Okay. Now,